I'm going to talk about something that's been sitting heavy on my heart, and that is everything that went down between Ms. Wanda, Marceau, and the situation surrounding that young lady. The energy in that room, the tension, the back and forth, it all felt like a boiling pot just waiting to overflow. And let me tell you something right now, Ms. Wanda made it very clear from the jump, she wasn't letting this go. She said it loud and clear, she's going to dig until there's no more room to dig. And based on what we all saw, I believe her. Now let's start right where things got heated. Ms. Wanda walked in with fire in her eyes. She sat down right next to the person she had issues with. She said, I'm going to sit right here next to you. Not behind you, not across the room, right next to you. And she meant it. She even said, if you please, you can move. And that already let us know, this wasn't going to be a calm little chat. No, this was going to be direct, face-to-face, and confrontational. She said she keeps her enemies in front of her, and that's exactly what she did. Things escalated quickly. The way she talked, it was like she wasn't there to hear excuses, she wanted answers. Real answers. And she wasn't accepting anything less. She said, what's not going to happen, twice, like she was cutting off the nonsense before it even started. The energy in her voice, the way she leaned in, it all showed she came ready for battle. Ms. Wanda wasn't about to be played, and if someone thought they were going to dodge her questions, they had another thing coming. Now the whole thing started because of what Martel said about a certain young lady. Ms. Wanda wasn't okay with it. She felt like there were too many half-truths, too many people avoiding the facts. And when she asked a question, she expected a straight answer. She kept repeating, what was my response, but the other person kept dodging. A mess. Wanda was not here for that. She said even a yes or no would be enough. That's all she wanted, something solid. Instead, she got silence or deflection. And that's when she snapped and said what everybody's been repeating since then, I'm going to find out the truth, and I'm going to dig until there's no more room to dig. That right there was the moment. The turning point. That's when everybody in that room knew, this wasn't going to be brushed under the rug. This wasn't going to go away with time. Ms. Wanda was on a mission, and nothing was going to stop her. She said she didn't care who liked it or who didn't. She said if she didn't like something someone said, she was coming. And she meant it. Now let's talk about the bigger picture. This isn't just about a photo or a rumor. This is about respect. This is about truth. And this is about how things get handled when tensions rise. Ms. Wanda felt disrespected, not just by one person, but by the whole situation. And she made it clear that silence wasn't going to cut it. She said, by you not saying nothing, it does not make it right. And she's not wrong. Sometimes silence speaks louder than words. And in this case, she felt like the silence was being used as a shield. She brought up her family. She brought up how they were affected. She brought up how they were looking at everything and how it didn't sit right with them. And in her eyes, that made it personal. She wasn't just speaking for herself anymore. She was speaking for her whole family, for the people watching and wondering why no one was being held accountable. Then she started digging into the relationship between Marceau and the young lady Martel mentioned. That was a whole other layer. Ms. Wanda didn't believe what she was hearing. She said she thought Martel was lying, but she wasn't going to stop at thinking, she was going to find out. She wanted the facts. She didn't want rumors, she didn't want stories. She wanted the truth, and she was going to go all the way until she got it. Let's pause right there. Because this is important. Ms. Wanda's energy might come off as aggressive to some, but what she's really demanding is honesty. What she wants is clarity. When things get messy, people tend to hide. But she's doing the opposite, she's running straight into the mess, trying to clean it up. And whether you agree with her methods or not, you have to admit, she's standing on something real. She then pointed her energy toward Marceau. She started asking questions, trying to understand how he could let this go on. She wanted to know if he even knew the young lady Martel was talking about. And when she didn't get a straight answer, she got louder. She said, "We're not doing that." Because for her, this wasn't a game. This wasn't just reality TV drama. This was her name, her family's name, her truth. And she was tired of it being played with. She also talked about how her relationship with Marceau has changed. She said she doesn't like the way he talks to his wife. And that hit deep. Because when someone from your own family says they don't like the way you treat your spouse, that's not small. That's big. That's emotional. That's years of watching and waiting and finally speaking up. Ms. Wanda said, "See, you think you're smart. I got you." And that's when it turned from just an argument to something deeper. She was saying, "I know how you move. I've been watching. I've seen what you do, how you talk, how you avoid. And now, I'm calling you out on it." She even warned him. "If you say something I don't like, I'm coming. I'm coming for you. I don't care." That wasn't just anger. That was frustration. That was built-up energy finally boiling over. She wasn't just reacting to this moment, she was reacting to a pattern. Now let's look at the emotional part. Because behind all that fire and all those words, there's hurt. Ms. Wanda feels betrayed. She feels like people she should be able to trust aren't being straight with her. And that kind of betrayal cuts deep. It's not just about rumors, it's about loyalty. It's about family. It's about knowing that someone's got your back when things go left, and MS. Wanda made it very clear that Marceau has proven himself to be her protector in the past. She said she has no doubt, no concern because he's always been there. So when this situation came up, it felt different. It felt like that protection was missing. And that's why she's digging. Because she wants to know where that loyalty went. She wants to know what changed. This whole situation brings up a lot of questions. Who do you trust when things get messy? Who stands by you when the cameras stop rolling? Who tells the truth even when it's hard? Those are the questions Ms. Wanda is asking, not just to others, but maybe to herself too. She's not perfect. She's loud. She's bold. But she's also real. She says what she feels, even if it makes people uncomfortable. And sometimes, that's what's needed. Someone who's not afraid to ask the hard questions. Someone who won't stop until they get to the bottom of it. So here we are, in the middle of all this tension, and one thing is clear, mess. Wanda isn't letting this go. She said she's going to dig until there's no more room to dig. That means she's not stopping until she finds what she's looking for. That means people are going to have to answer questions they've been avoiding. That means the truth is going to come out, one way or another, and honestly, I think that's what a lot of people want. Not more drama, not more rumors, but the truth. The real story. The facts behind the photos, behind the silence, behind the conversations we didn't hear. So let's all take a moment and ask ourselves, what would we do if we were in Ms. Wanda's shoes? Would we sit back and stay silent? Or would we speak up and ask the questions nobody else wants to ask? That's the heart of it right there. That's why this moment matters. Not because of who was in the room, but because of what was said. Because of what was felt. Because someone stood up and said, "This isn't okay. I'm not going to pretend it is." So whether you agree with her or not, you have to respect the fact that Ms. Wanda isn't hiding. She's facing this head on. And she's not backing down, and that's where we'll leave it, for now. Because this story isn't over. The digging has just begun.